topic of discussion today, as you guys saw on the posters, is collaboration within Ugandan, like creatives or creatives practicing in Uganda. Yeah. So, do you guys mind sharing what collaboration means to you? Or your understanding of the word collaboration? Just that. Anyone could go?
To me, collaboration is different people with different unique talents coming together to do one thing. So it's like Katogo. Katogo has different aspects that make it so delicious. There is the Irish, there is the Matoke, the famous Roiko. They are all sweet in their own way, but when you bring them together, they produce something really nice. And that's what collaboration means to me. Yeah.
I think there's an aspect of a shared vision, like to put aside all differences and try to get at something that's unattainable alone. I think that's the aspect I like or take away from it is, yeah.
He said differences, putting aside differences, but then I kind of think of what makes collaboration. Collaboration is the differences that we do have, give or take, where our videographer is working together, maybe with a graphic designer, and the uniqueness of each of them is what makes collaboration. So I think it's just a mix-up of those differences to come up with something unique. Yeah.
So I think, you want to say something?
I wanted to say, from what he said, shared vision, I imagined the same, but in a different type of sharing. So, when the Arabs went to Nyanga, coast of East Africa, and intermarried and produced Swahili people and whatnot. So I think collaboration is not so much different. It's like two different people coming together to create something that maybe hadn't been, or I think to create something that is actually not what they have been producing, to kind of create something new for them. Could be not new for other people, but for them, I feel like if a photographer is collaborating with another photographer, whatever the aim of this collaboration is, should at least lead to something, make a reason, to have a reason for why they are doing it, not to produce the same old stuff they have been producing, maybe to learn a certain new trick or something. So I think collaboration is a bit about that, just like intermarriage.
Fair enough. So I think we could acknowledge from what he said, his contribution, that this is where different people come together with, of course, various strengths and abilities to come together, but with a common vision in mind, or at least be on the same page about what it is you're trying to achieve. Yeah. That said, in the country we are, Uganda, our market is relatively small, and yet the population is big. I think later in the discussion we'll get into who are you collaborating with and why. Are they the right person to collaborate with, and not just because they are the willing party then. Yeah, so I think that's also something for us to discuss and, give thought through this conversation. So, that said, I think some of you guys know Noor. If you don't, he introduced himself earlier. You have seen the Making Portraits page and their content and the whole thing. So, in case you haven't, please get some time off and check your Instagram. The page is Making Portraits. So, would like to know from you, Noor, where did this come from? Give us the thought process to this.
Hey guys, again, my name is Noor. So, Making Portraits, I think, is not even a year old. It should be about 6 or something months. I started last year, I think around May or something. So anyway, a certain creative in the room reached out to like different photographers because he's a photographer, you know. The idea was to collaborate and work with different creatives in the industry. So we used to have like a lot of makeup artists, fashion designers who would want to collaborate, but you would find that there's no actually time to like do that. So the idea was, you know what, how about we just set a date and we reach out to like all designers or photographers or makeup artists, fashion stylists, you know, to just come up and we build up something, you know. So that gave us the idea of creating making portraits. So we've been doing a bunch of series so far. So far we've done about 2 series for making portraits, and the beauty about it is we keep moving around Uganda. So the first one was in Jinja, the second one was in Kampala. So the plan is to just explore more of Uganda while collaborating with different creatives. I think that's the initial idea. Yeah.
So while we're exploring Uganda and coming together to bring all these beautiful ideas to life, give everyone a space and set a stage to, you know, produce what you have been producing so far, because it's really brilliant work. I think the beauty with making portraits and collaboration in general, them as an example, because they are the it thing now in the creative photography space, is collaborations give us an avenue for each and every one of us to show, exercise, and share with other creatives what we bring to the table. Because if you know our creative space so well, you will notice that people struggle with acknowledging I'm just like a graphics designer, I'm not a web designer, or I'm a fashion designer, but I'm not a seamstress, or I'm not a stylist, kind of thing. So the lines have been blurred because the market is still young, the creative industry is not as developed as is in other countries. So it gives us an avenue for people who say, I like clothes, but I can't make, I can style. So stylists are able to be brought on board. Previously, in our country and industry, people have just been the end-all be-all. So you could be the model, but you're the one supposed to figure out your outfit, your makeup, and the photographer. So I think the beauty with collaborations like that is it allows each of us to grow in our strengths, but also make more room in the industries per se, so that people are not forced to assume other roles as opposed to growing their strength, kind of thing. Yeah. So I would also like for the rest of us to share what our thoughts are. So far, he gave us like a really good perspective. I'd like for more people in the room to tell us your thoughts on collaboration as creatives, and yeah.
I think collaboration is one of the things that foster specialization. You know, you've talked about previously most of creatives trying to be the end of it all. And then we know that there are some technical things which you can't really be good at them unless you give them your all, most especially in our creative industry. So trying to do everything alone kind of makes you not extremely skilled on all of them. So we know you can only be good at specific things. You can't be good at everything at the end of the day, most especially when it comes to multidisciplinary activities of us as creatives, you know? The other thing I wanted to talk about was most times when we are creating, you might get an idea that is cross-sectional, you know? This time around, you are usually a visual artist, but you usually may be a painter, but you want to work with sculptists, you know? And you can't do sculpture. I wouldn't say to save time, but those people have like dedicated their whole life into the sculpting, you know? And you're not going to go back to school and learn it, but you could work with them, you know? And most times it happens when you get an idea that can fetch like 5 creative disciplines, and you know you can't do all of them. And yes, collaboration saving you that time, but also maximizes on their on the fact that they are good, they're already good at what they're doing, and you're good at what you're doing. So it's just like a mixture of perfection, maybe like a cocktail of things which are already like perfect. Yet if you did it yourself, went maybe and learned this and learned this and learned this, you will have half-baked things, you know. And at the end of it all, you bring out something unpleasant. So those are the 3 things I think collaboration really helps serve.
Thank you. So we would also like to acknowledge our partners that have made this possible. That is GZK, and they have a representative here. So you should also check them out and, you know, get a good understanding of what they do here in Uganda. I would like my neighbor here to introduce herself, and then we'll have a conversation going forward.
Hi everyone, I'm Jemima and I'm a professional female fashion model. It's my pleasure being here. Nice to meet you. Thank you.
So we'd like to find out from you, Jemima, what has been your experience in collaborating with, you know, the various people in the space that you've been able to work with thus far?
My experience, first of all, I do editorial, runway, commercial, prints and parts modeling, but specifically I'm more into editorial modeling. And my experience in the collaborating thing, one is I've happened to build my portfolio at no fee. Yeah, like as you collaborate with someone, you're both creating a portfolio for each other. Someone may not notice that, but you're adding on something onto what you're supposed to present to the world. And remember this thing, like someone to collaborate with you, they're supposed to see already something that you've done. Yeah. The good thing I had, I first built up my page, so that in case I'm to ask for a collaboration with someone, when they go through my page, they're like, okay, it's very hard to say a no unless you're mentally perturbed. Yeah, but of course I be getting the no's, and I'm like, okay, I won't die even though you say no. Yeah, so the first thing before you ask for a collaboration, you're supposed to build on your Instagram, so that when you reach out to someone, they see a vision in you. Yeah, and you also have to know how to approach someone. Remember, they don't know you, they don't know if you exist. So how are you going to approach me? How are you going to sweet talk me so that I can accept to collaborate with you? And you also have to be patient. You're going to reach out to Noel, they'll tell you, I'll reach out to you in July. Yeah, they say these things, they know. Someone may tell you, oh, yeah, I'm very busy, but maybe next year. Yeah. And me, I'll be cramming. On 1st June, trust me, I'll be in your inbox. Real thing. Yeah, hi, you promised me to check on you on 1st June. Here I am, what's up? You tell me at 6 p.m., again at 6, I'm back. I mean, you have to be consistent and following up with all the feedback they give you. And you also have Well and good.
Well, not officially or like making portraits or anything, but I just had something to share when she was saying something. I think certain parts of my brain were opened. And I think when you say, the question was, are Ugandan creatives collaborating enough? I would say we need to, if we are not, because there is a whole prevailing liberty of personality in the creative space, where creative people feel like because they think they are creative, they are entitled to a certain type of personality that should that should be acceptable by the outside world because they are creatives. Because I'm a creative, I'm going to do this. Because other creatives have done it, and it's a lifestyle that is bougie, you know? So I feel like how that comes in with collaboration is that when you get to work with other creatives, who, in this case, may also have the bad manners that you have, you get to experience that firsthand. Probably, I think it would help to show you how your ways affect other people from like getting this from someone else. Say you had making portraits being the case study. Say we had planned to leave for Ginger earlier, say 8, and because some creatives. I remembered I was a creative myself, and I wasn't going to fall on the bad side of the example. Anyway, you're called at 8, like, where are you? And clearly you're still in bed, right? And, like, I was night owling, what, let me rush and come. I feel like that's a very selfish, and it's common, I would say. We've had these stories, like, people actually say this to you, like, they've hired you for the first time, and they're like, we know you people, you're this and this, we know you people, you don't work with me, you don't know me. So it's like, when you get to experience those things from someone else, and you thought they were a bit acceptable because you were the one delivering these bad manners, I think it's a good thing, and it's somewhere there in collaboration. Could be like a lot of things that you get to understand. Maybe you think being more silent is a good thing, but then when you actually are working with someone and you need them to be more verbal and assertive on something, on one project that you're all handling, and then you get to face the negative impact of something you thought that was very acceptable, it gives you something to think about and check for yourself. Yeah.
Hello, everyone. So, I believe that every artist should find time and collaborate. These are some of my thoughts about collaboration and what I've learned over maybe the past 3 years. So, firstly, you have to find time and really create your art. Like, you have to find time and create the vision of your art, who you are, you find your truth in your art. And there's going to be times when you are eager to collaborate with anyone who comes your way because you are not in a position to say no, because you really want to get your art out there. So now, that is definition of you creating from a place of lack. Now, I know that the situation is not permanent. There's going to come a time when you're not creating from lack. So I'm now talking about that place. So what I have observed from my workplace is now when someone is, not even exactly from my workplace, but from other organizations, which I would like people to also incorporate as when they reach that stage in their lives, is you collaborate now with strategy, because the capitalism in us still stands. So you also have to become a bit selfish. I'm sorry to say, you have to be a bit selfish, so that maybe when now you've reached that place and you're like, okay, who can I collaborate with? And maybe let's say it's Chapo there. The shirt. Chapo. So now I'm collaborating with Chapo because I know I'm going to tap into his audience. So you go in with like a selfish motive in a way, but it's also going to boost you. So you go in with that instead maybe of going in with someone else who, okay, like you basically have the same audience, like there's nothing going on there. So you choose to collaborate with someone because you know they are going to bring in an audience that has never seen your art before, and then you get to grow even bigger. So there's also that kind of collaboration when you reach that point where you're not coming from a place of lack. So yeah, there's collaboration, but you also have to eventually put yourself first. Then, okay, like in short, it's build yourself so much, continue collaborating, but also when you reach that point, you also have to get really strategic. Yes, you get picky. Yeah.
Let me go before you, Emma. let me say before you say. There's a quote I read a while back where the person said, you learn a lot more about people by fighting next to them in battle than by sitting across them on a table. And I think that's one of the things that collaboration achieves. When you're like in a classroom setting and learning from, okay, not to look down on this setting that we are in, I may have shot myself in the foot there, but when I'm with Barbara in the thick of things, like creating something, I will learn a lot more from her than just asking her, how do you do that? You get it? And I think that's one of the things that really collaboration achieves on the highest level, like learning firsthand from somebody else. There's a studio talk we had, the one about stealing like an artist. And one of the most prevalent contributions in the discussion was about you look a lot further by, like, you stand on the shoulders of other people to see further. And of course, no man is an island. To see further, you have to stand on the shoulders of others. And to stand on the shoulders of others, you have to say yes to collaborating with them and working with them. Yeah, so, yeah.
So I have a question as well, and I have a lot of things running in my mind. One, is it selfish enough for me to say no to someone that I don't want to collaborate with you? And how best can I say it without saying, oh, reach me out on 1st of June, you know, and then...
Don't string them along.
Yeah. Two is, I personally, if I'm to collaborate, I'm coming from a point of passion, you know. I collaborate because I'm passionate, really passionate about something. And I know it's going to add something to me, yeah? And if I can collaborate with someone, at the end of the day, it is therapy for me. And then you ask me and I tell you no. And then, you know, you go on internet or you tell your friends, oh, no, you know, say, no, he does this here, laga, you know. But then I'm thinking about, you know, my therapy, like my mindset. Chiba chikuluma over, you know. Then, also therapy, in Twala class, like I really go down, like back to like class, you know, like what she said. I'm not an editorial photographer. I'm more of a beauty photographer, and I really love it because I love working with close-up images, you know. But every time we're making portraits, we find ourselves working with editorials, you know, like you're shooting full gowns, and, you know, it's a beautiful challenge because I love it, you know. And I tend to learn a lot from it. So you find like Josh Dago is shooting something, you know, because I've come to actually steal, you know, something from my fellow creative. Probably not steal, but, you know, get the idea of how we did it, you know. Anyway, yes, back to the question. So many questions playing in my mind. Yes, you're responding?
Yeah. To the first question, My suggestion is before collaborating with someone, it should be a 50-50. We're both winning, not one-sided. So it's not bad to say no. When I say no, like I'm not seeing a vision collaborating with you. Like I'm not, like we're not on the same base, like, yeah, it's one-sided. You'll be benefiting, I won't be benefiting in any way. And collaborating should be you're benefiting, I'm benefiting. And the other thing, get used to rejections. Yeah, that's the therapy to this thing. Get used to rejections. When someone says no, well and good, go to the next person. Yeah, that's my take anyway.
Let me say you've had like a number of guys you've said no to. The thing with collaborations, you build a form of trust, and bondage with like a particular kind of person. I have particular makeup artists that I work with because I trust in their work. I'll keep a blind eye. I'll be like, oh, okay, this is the direction, just do it, But then you're another makeup artist, yes, you want to collaborate, but then I'm going to say no. Like, actually, a number of them have come, but I keep saying no because I know probably my idea, my vision is not going to come out. So then it will circle around, and be like, oh, that guy is like that. He never collaborates with anyone apart from so-and-so, So that's like a challenge for me-ish at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that one, I really don't know how to explore that because maybe the thing is, it also depends on the resources you have to be able to try them out. But now it would seem that your thing is very carefully curated, that there is no time for, okay, let's see how this makeup artist will go. Like, you have already gotten your people, and this is what you're sticking with. I just think, let them just feel like that for the moment because there's nothing else to do. Unless you reach that level of, okay, now we are going to try new people. But yeah.
You see, guys, often is a very deep and profound thing. But here in Uganda, it's difficult to see through. Why? Because as you said, everyone enters with a more profound selfish interest into a collaboration. But we need to look at it in a more perspective of, okay, let me give a case study. I had a cover art to do for Zagazillion. So the manager reached out to me and he wanted me to do the cover art for some songs called Tukubwe. Came out, I think, last year. But in my head, I knew I wouldn't. I had an idea for it, but I couldn't do it. So I had to reach out to someone I know who does illustration. But when I was reaching out to them, I didn't reach out to them in a more form of, okay, so this is the money they're going to give me, but I'm going to give them like a portion, just because I brought you the gig and everything. So we need to carry respect into this collaboration where okay, so I'm not going to be doing most of the work, you understand? So this person is going to be the one doing most of the work. So when we're in the collaboration, I decided to not actually take the highest percentage of the money, despite the fact that I was the one who had brought the gig. Yeah, in Uganda. So that's what I'm telling you is that it's a deep thing to carry on, but you need to be mentally, how should I say it? You need to be selfless instead of being selfish. You understand? And I had some other key things I had to say. Also, in this collaboration thing, it's more of like helping others, because even if when someone reaches out to you, like let's say a makeup artist, they know that your work is going to project their work to a different level. So they are looking at you as, this is my way out. You understand? But at times you need to be selfless because, okay, if at all maybe their work doesn't resonate with your kind of work that you have been doing, you maybe guide them and tell them, something that is going to be shrewd but direct to the point. Be like, man, I understand you're also an artist in the same exact field, but there's some things you should change for us to be able to what? To collaborate. Yeah, we need to be blunt as possible, because if we keep on saying people, no, right now I'm fixed right now, I can't collaborate with you, I have something going on, but you're not giving them the reason why you're actually not collaborating with them. So we need to help each other, and like, if at all someone reaches out to any of us for a collaboration, you let them know why you're not going to be able to collaborate with them. And also, the main factor, the money bit. You see, when a collaboration comes in, when someone reaches out to you, the first thing that runs through your head is money. Why? Because most designers, almost creatives, are suffering. They are broke. They don't have money at that said moment. You understand? So when someone reaches out to you, you think, ha! Baba, alese gigi. So when you look at it in that perspective, the first thing that's going to run through your head is money. And when they begin now expounding on their idea, man, you see now, so this is the thing I have in mind. You're like, no, this is really not going to work out for me. That's when you kick on into the whole consolation bit, I'm busy and all that stuff. But let's help each other and collaborate. We understand everyone doesn't have the same exact skill set, because some people may want to collaborate with people who have the same exact skill set with them. But it's good if we help each other and collaborate in a more educational way, because most times when you collaborate with people, you're going to learn. Even if you know it all, trust me, there's something that you're going to understand. Like as you said, the times, because you're more of a portraiture person, like close-up and all that stuff. When you go for making portraits, it's a whole different thing. Man, this is crazy stuff compared to like something, your direction. So even if you know, there's something you learn in this collaboration thing. Yeah. So it's not really overrated. It's just that we just need to have a better approach towards it.
I speak as an obsessive compulsive collaborator. OCC. But as artists, as creatives, we need to know our identity, By the time someone reaches out to, for example, me, Mary D, to collaborate with the kind of work I do, we need to find a common ground. That's something, he has also said it like a shared vision. But now, let me just speak in what I know. So me as me. I do some kind of multidisciplinary work that involves different art forms. And if I am going to apply this kind of visual art into, let me say, like creating an album cover, I need to now get deep into that research of, so what is your album about? Does it coordinate with the kind of art I'm going to give you? Or what are these elements you want from my kind of work? And how do you want them to apply to your... I don't know if you guys are getting. But I think the main point here is to know your identity and where you lie. And because I believe identity is so much attached with relationships we make with people. If I'm going to say, okay, me and Barbara, we're going to work on something, then that's already a relationship that we have created. And then it's going to affect my identity as an artist. Is it going to switch me far from exactly what I have been working and building on in my personal portfolio? Or it's just going on one side, like she said? There's that balance that has to be there. But one thing I do when I'm collaborating is I never leave the people I've collaborated with behind. So I include them in things like my portfolio. I mention them, because it's a collaboration. And yeah, so far that is what I would say.
I think to add on to what you said, or to sum up what you're saying, we have to understand that when we're seeking collaboration, I get the point of be selfish. As the human being in you, you're wondering what's in it for me. But also stop to think about the other person you're approaching. What's in it for them? So you're going to them because of the value you see in them or potential. you get for whichever reason, whether it's to learn, whether it's to tap into their network, for whichever reason, ask yourself what value you're going to bring to them. Because the same way you want something out of it, they're human too. They want something they would want to know what can they get out of working with you, this collaboration. And in the sense that you know it, but are you able to communicate it? Because if you are, then you're able to understand, okay, I'm looking for like brand visibility, but the other person is looking for this. Do I serve that need for them? That's why when people like Noor say no, when they say no, you don't take it personally, you give them grace. The same way even someone may approach you and you're not ready. So the time we hinted on the collaboration thing, there was a conversation that there is vertical and like horizontal collaboration. Most times we as creatives, most of our reason for collaborating, aside from money, for like younger creatives or when you're like younger in the practice or your craft, is brand visibility. But sometimes so most people are looking to, let me give an example of Noor. You're looking to work with Noor because you want more people to see your makeup. But like he said, are you at a good level? You don't want people to come to see you, even if you accept the collaboration and it goes through. People now come to you and you're not ready, like you've not bloomed to a level, you're not your best self. So we shall come, we see you and bounce. Like we shall see, okay, Nuran making portraits, this person. So we go through all your pages, we follow some, the others we just see and go. Are you getting? And yet, if you better prepared yourself, like he said, understood your value that you're bringing to the table, or the collaboration project, you're able to get less no's. But even if it's a no, you understand that, okay, maybe what I'm offering is not what this person is looking to get. And it's okay to acknowledge that, not to always seek as like the younger person in the space to work with the bigger name in the hope that, hey, if I work with this big dog in this industry, more people are going to see me. They may see you when you're like in your initial stages and your young stages, and that may put them off, like you've not grown into your best self enough you're not ready for the attention you're looking for. Are you guys like understanding? So that's also something we should like ask ourselves. Are you ready for the aftermath of the collaboration? Yeah, in the sense of seeking it.
So mine is small. It's in the bracket of being prepared. I think it's the entire communication thing. Remember, like, you're approaching, you're literally like pitching. Yeah, because truth is there's things to benefit. So I believe there's many people actually reaching out for collaborations, but then I believe the number of like the deals that are closed are actually very low. And I think it comes to like preparation. Basically what Alex was saying, all those details of are you ready for what you're looking for and all that. But then I was thinking more in the sense of like, how do you present that idea? I assume most people just go with like, let's do a collab, I do this makeup and all that. How about you approach, say, makeup artist? You approach with, say, I want to do this specific project, maybe depicting the African history in this kind of people and all that, with a proper story, properly documented, possible stylists, all that, with that level of organization. I believe like even if the no was on standby, it's going to hold and be like, if this person has actually put in this amount of effort to say that we collaborate, they are probably worth a chance, yeah? So to me, it's that entire preparation, like give it more thought than just approaching.
I'm talking from experience. Sometimes it feels like if you are to bring someone on board or to collaborate with someone out, it feels like sometimes it's like betray a bit. For example, he said he has like his own makeup artist. Just a question to you. Don't you feel like sometimes it blocks your eyes from seeing potential out there? Because doesn't it sometimes feel like it's just a safe zone? What if someone out there has put in work? They have put in time. They have the skill. sometimes even better than the people you're working with. But don't you feel sometimes your self zone like? I don't think I would feel that way, actually. I feel, because the first step is you send me probably an idea, like, check out my portfolio and this is what I can give, And then I'm like, okay, so what kind of ideas or direction are you willing to take? So if it's not really aligned with my kind of work, that is probably like a definite no, because I'm going to waste a lot of time on work that I'm not going to post or publish, So I'm actually saving my time than, wasting that whole entire conversation. Yes. Okay, and then to respond to the question of, what was it? Why Ugandans are not collaborating enough. Yes. I think we are biased, and yeah. Which also brings us back to the point of we don't have a perfectly well-curated collaboration, I think, to add on to what he was saying. What I think, or what I've been saying, is the collaboration that people know would be, artisti, ayagala to collaborating, and then like they get a bunch of other friends, and then you sit and start designing all you shoot. You spend a bunch of hours editing, or creating a video, or creating a magazine, and at the end of the day, they take it to Canva, You've spent 1 week editing a poster, and then they want to add something, they go to Canva and add it. Your time wasted. I've designed a photo, they put a filter in the end, Like my time is wasted, basically. So you feel so biased and tired of like collaborating. Let's collaborate. You're like, no, I'm just tired. I'd rather do my own thing than collaborate. But if you had something really well curated, like making portraits, I think it would be something on a positive, Yeah.
I would like for us to invite Nino. We have a few questions for him. He has been... So, those of us that don't know Nino, I'm going to have him introduce himself. He assumes everyone in the room knows him, but we're not going to leave that to chance. He's going to introduce himself really quickly, and then I want you to tell us, Nino, he has been a part of the 2 seasons of making portraits. So I'd like for him to help us understand what does it take to properly organize a collaboration, because as we have noted from some of us who have done collaborations, it's not an easy thing to do because you're bringing different people together. So how do you ensure that everyone does their part and pulls their weight so that it's a pleasant experience and that this shared vision is brought to life?
Hey everyone, good evening. Hi. My name is Nino. I'm a photographer and a designer. I work at Agandi, and we also started making portraits with Noor and Kate. She's not around today. But, okay. So making portraits started from the basis of, initially, I would say, of let's just work, right? Let's get one day where we have different creatives from different disciplines and you're just creating content. Photographers, sometimes that, yeah, I've been collaborating for a while, but sometimes you fail to get time, right? To actually make a collaboration. And by this collaboration, I mean something for passion, right? Something for your therapy. I'm not meaning like a well-designed something where you want to earn from it, which is also collaboration. I've realized we've been trying to eliminate it. But yeah, so it came from the point of view that let's just work together, right? Create content, learn from each other. We all don't have to be at the same level, right? You have the top photographers, top models, but you also have newbies coming in, and you're just doing content together. One, when we started making portraits, really it was from, we had a stylist who was Kate, we had 2 photographers, and then it was starting from to set the pace, you know, to set the level, what photographers are you going to work with, right? So the plan now is to handpick the photographers you want to work with, but of course, you know, there are few, right? And these are people like, I mean, you're picking few. I'm not saying the top ones are few. You're picking few, then later the number keeps increasing until there is a learning aspect in it. If you're all top, there's most likely like you're all probably in your fields, like you're not trying, you're going there to feel like I can do this on my own, like I can achieve, but rather if you have someone who has been in photography for 2 years, the other has been in 4 years, there's something you can learn from each other. So we got the photographers, they are all very willing. We put out a call for models because we also, to an extent, we wanted to make it a bit fair, right? So it's for the model and for the makeup artist, we handpicked them. The stylist who was Kate decided to at least for the first edition, because the funds they are no funds, right? You're all just bringing in your money. So for the first edition, she used all her clothes, she went in her wardrobe because she's a stylist. She brought everything. We put out a call for models. Models applied. The photographers and whoever had already been called in, they started to say, for the style I want to do for this edition, I feel like this model will do, right? So models were picked in that way, that the creatives that were already there said, I have a concept for this model. I've seen her skin tone. I've seen how she poses. So because we asked the models to send in their, what are they called? Instagrams, portfolio. So yeah, so from the very beginning, the photographers are starting to see how exactly or who they are going to shoot and how they would work with them. Yeah, it was also crucial, at least for the photographers, to pick people who are. Yeah, I remember Noor. At first I was worried for Noor. He shoots here a lot, so for me it was one of his very first times to see him going to shoot full body, but also outdoor. But that's the beautiful thing about collaborations, I would say. Yeah, and then the models, they were all from different, I would say, experience of modeling. Some are just starting out. Some are actually not even models, right? They just do here and here on their Instagram, but yeah, so we put out a call, we selected the models, we created a WhatsApp group, we worked on logistics, and because it was a collaboration, we made it clear from the very beginning that, you know what, this whole thing is self-funded. We need everyone to pitch in, and it was as transparent as possible, how much you are spending on transport, how much you shall spend on what you are going to eat. At the end of the day, we made sure that it's beneficial. Everyone has put in, of course the organizers put in so much, but monetary-wise, we try to make sure that everybody puts in at least something equal. Of course, it still comes back to the organizers where it falls short. You don't go back and say we didn't plan well or something. Yeah, so we set up a communication channel where we communicated. We are very clear of what time we set off when we did it in Ginger, where we are meeting, what time we are reaching, where we are stopping. We had students as models also at university, so I'm like, they have to go back early. Yeah, so it was trying to cover all bases, but even from the very beginning is you're reaching at the location, and you're planning of okay, Noor, who are you starting with and who are you shooting? William, Jamie, everybody, that sort of plan of Noor can say, I've seen this outfit, it's nice, but I would prefer something else. I'll wait for the model to change. And the beautiful thing, personally, how I saw it at the first time, it was, you know, people running here. It's like, okay, not running, but it was a space where I felt like a market. Like, it was so beautiful to watch for me, like seeing creatives at work. The stylist is doing here, the models, this model is resting, this one is shooting, this one is asking. William was always asking, Anya, who's ready? Me, I'm ready. And it was beautiful to watch. And then you would have seen a car sport, and you would be like, man, I'd seen that car sport, but I'll have to look for another one. It was very beautiful to watch because everybody seemed to enjoy everything they were doing. And beautiful in a sense also that you would see how someone else is working, right? So I remember in the second edition that we had O. Henry. He's a photographer, he's Jamaican. And I was very fascinated how he was shooting. So at the end of the day, you see all the creatives and you see how everyone does something completely different from the other. And you see the results are like, can be completely different. So you see the way O. Henry talks to a model, and you see how Noor is talking to a model, and you see how Josh is talking to a model, and they are all communicating completely different ways. And from that, it's like you're seeing what can I learn from how O. Henry does it or how Noor does it. Those who have seen Noor shoot, he's always like, beautiful, do that again. Like, the encouragement is so there. Yeah, so you learn something from that. I'm like, you find that when Noor is at work, he's like so engaged with the person he's working with. And I do get it when he says, when you find yourself going back to work with the same person because they get to know your language, right, of communication. And then you find Josh. Josh is very silent. Like, he will say, yeah. And for him, it's like he's giving the freedom to the model, right? Like, you have your experience, do something, like, be free. Like, he will give direction here and here, but he will let the model be slightly free, that freedom. And there is something to learn from all those shooting styles. Yeah, and for me, it's so beautiful when models get to learn, creatives get to learn from each other, and you're just there, you're seeing the work is happening. Yeah, and the plan was, you know, even after the shoot, you're planning how are we going to share the images. You know, we have to collaborate on Instagram, get everyone's handle, follow each other, stay in the WhatsApp group. Once we share the models, you give them, create a Google Drive, put all the high resolution images, they are visible to everyone, sign NDAs, like cover all bases, but make sure everybody, like, don't post something when you've not tagged them, the makeup artist, because they put in work, right? So when that happens, you're DMing the photographer very fast and like, hey, you missed posting someone, tagging someone, or you missed doing this, because everyone put in actually the energy. Yeah. I don't know if I've answered.
Yes. Okay. Sorry? You have a question? Okay. Is this the closest mic to you?
Nino, okay, this question is for Nino, but also maybe somebody else in another discipline that's not photography can answer. What, in your opinion, what are the characteristics of a really bad collaboration? Like a collaboration gone wrong?
Okay. Maybe let me start from not directly answering the question, but some bad collaborations or something that might go wrong, you can see it from a distance, right? There's when someone reaches out and you see, if an artist or a musician reaches out and says, I'd like to collaborate with you, but they have an album coming out, right? Like, which is fine, but there's a way in which, Yeah, so there's a way in which they are coming to you because they've laid out everything so well, and you are the missing piece, right? There is a, yeah, that is next level selfish, I would say. But if, for example, he or she has put in place something where you're also gaining so much, then sit down on the table and listen, right? But sometimes someone comes because they are just too selfish. Like, even if I see like it's all on you, it's not on me. You just want my skill. I would say be very careful with something like that. The other one would be, it's very possible for a collaboration to go wrong if, I would say a collaboration is when it can work really well if the disciplines are different. So like me and Josh, I would say we shoot the same way, right? If I collaborate with Josh, but then there is Mary, right? Mary is an artist. She draws, but also she weaves. We saw her exhibition. And I feel like I might get much more better results with her than with Josh, right? Because sometimes collaborations can actually weigh you down. Like if you have a project to do, but you are all thinking the same way because you are very similar, right? You can even get frustrated because you feel like, I can be very particular, like I really want to edit out that kahea, but maybe the other person is, you shoot the same way, the grades are the same, like the posing are the same, the communication is the same. That's more likely to frustrate. You'd rather do something alone to actually even go further. I would say it would weigh you down. I remember the first time Kate reached out to me very many years ago. I was mainly shooting my friends, and Kate reached out to me to shoot. I jam. Yeah, I jam. One was because I knew she was from a whole different field, but I wasn't ready to go for it, honestly. I wasn't ready to shoot someone outside my circle. And by circle, I meant friends. Like Kate was going to be the first person to go outside my comfort zone to shoot. So for several months, I jammed. Remember, she told you the story. Several months I jammed, but I later just gave in. I'm like, let me do this collaboration, but I'm not going to share these images because it's not yet my style, right? And then we shot first shoot. Oh, okay, not bad. Second shoot, stuff I started to get into it, right? And for me, it's on Sunday, last Sunday, this previous Sunday, we had a shoot here, and I found myself coming up with concepts that I completely had no idea I had them when the shoot began, because there was some sort of freedom, but also being at a place where you're so free to create. Like the mind seems blank of someone, you're like, wait, this is not working. No, let me change it. No, this is not. And someone's just there waiting, patiently saying, you know what, it's okay, I'll wait. But if the other person is, they don't get you very well, they don't know your creative process, they are not as patient. For people I've worked with, sometimes I take long to edit photos, honestly. Like, for me, I can have a shoot and then I find myself posting 2 months later, or actually to sit down and edit. So if you collaborate with someone who does not understand like your creative process of like, I can shoot, first dump things, I'm not going to look at them, and then come back and do the selection when the mind is so fresh. But someone is like asking, "Gwe, images," right? Like, so that whole conversation, or even testing the waters of, will this person understand how I work? Will they understand how, yeah, something like that. Cool. I don't know if I answered.
Back to the house. So this is just than 5 years. I don't know if that's the case, but yes, so just because we're having the conversation on collaboration, I'm curious, do you guys want to collaborate with someone? Okay. So the mics are around. Tell us. Or maybe to make it, we could start with someone here. Someone to make it, let's start somewhere. So I'm just thinking, yeah, shoot your shot. The people here in the room, we've heard what each and everyone does. Yeah, so just say someone you think. It's not like, we're not saying you have to work with them. Your visions might not align, but you think there's something there. Yeah, shoot your shot.
I believe collaboration is the way to go. Because one way, I may be willing or I may be thinking of doing something, but I may not have either the equipment or maybe the finances to fulfill what I want. But maybe I can see someone else who has maybe the equipment or the creative mind. I can also have maybe the equipment, but the creative mind. I may not really have the creative mind, but I can be maybe seeing Mary having nice ideas, and I know probably I can shoot them to life. So I believe collaboration is really nice. I enjoy watching collaborations. I'm not so good at collaborating, but I enjoy watching people collaborate. But, well, I love. Most times, not even sometimes, most times collaborations need time and patience, but most people are not ready to be patient. Because you may be in the initial stages, you're still planning. Where can you shoot maybe? What kind of model can you use? Where can you shoot the idea from? What time? And then someone else comes in, shoots something. And then you're like, no, this is not what I meant. Let's go to the drawing board, calculate things properly, find someone so that we can bring out the idea very well. So it needs patience, needs also understanding each other. For example, I keep following making portraits, and it's a nice, really nice idea, beautiful idea. I see people are not selfish because they post behind the scenes. They also post whoever was in the collaboration. That is very key. A lot of people miss that. You do a collaboration, this guy posts the pictures, tags himself again. So for me, because collaborations are meant to lift those who may not be seen, to lift those who have been in the background doing a lot of things, but they may not be noticed with the final image or with the final product. Reason why most companies have grown up, it's because they collaborate. They may not openly say it, but they collaborate. So for me, I keep seeing people posting. I will just inbox you, so you don't have to worry. Me, I will just inbox someone requesting a collaboration. But what I've seen also with collaboration, I may see, let me say Nino. Because recently I was watching Nino's picture. I don't know when he took it, the one of a market, I think, either some market in Gulu, Arua, Soroti. Yeah, I saw that picture and it looks amazing because I'm a documentary and humanitarian photographer. So I love things that are not acted. I love to see things that are naturally happening but paused in a moment. So collaborations also are better. So let me first bring it up. I may see Nino's picture, but it may look really nice to me, but that doesn't mean we should collaborate. It's also knowing who can you collaborate with. I can't just come out of nowhere and I'm like, I want someone who's from South Africa to collaborate. You may reach that person, you may talk, but the levels matter. Because if you're here, you can't start saying, you want a collaboration with someone who is here. Things take time. I may see you, yes, it may be a nice idea, maybe to mentor you, but I may see wastage of time because most people are busy. Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah.
Yeah, so you had asked us to shoot our shots. Yes, sir. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was, I missed the name, Jemima. You spoke of something to do with trench coats. Yeah? You sell? Chakabi. Arnold, you said you're a model. Chakabi. Yeah, so I am reaching out officially to these two guys for a collaboration. I'm a photographer, by the way. I'm going to take pictures. Yeah.
Okay, so there is also another thing that I wanted to talk about, also regarding selfishness once more. So, you know how I said that at some point you have to be selfish. Now I want to bring it like in a group context. Like there is this Jamaican British actor that we hosted last year, and he created this show called Dreaming Whilst Black, which was a hit show. But then he said that, you know how in Britain, like people of color have a hard time getting in through the door. So he said that it's very important also that when one of us gets into the door, you be very selfish and be like, I am bringing whoever I know through the door. So that is one thing that they did, and they ended up having like 90% of the crew or something. They were all like people of color, black people. And at first they received a bit of criticism from the whites. They were like, these people don't look to be competent, but he knew his people. They were not going to disappoint him. And so they ended up collaborating on that project and getting money. So another example I could give, maybe now let me bring it to the local context. So I don't know if many of you know Rachel Chiza. She works as the culture manager at GZK. And she's a very, very something girl. Okay, like I've forgotten like a word to use there, but she's a very amazing person. So now, the reason why we even got into studio talk was she came through the door and brought in her people. Not in a selfish way, but she said, there are some people who are doing good work. And me and the director were like, we know Agani Studios, but we didn't know studio talk. And then we worked with them and were very amazed at the ease with which it's easy to work with them. And then from there, you can see like there are more collaborations coming on top. Like she has introduced us to many people because she knows they are very, very good. Okay, it's not good to also introduce people that you know are going to embarrass you. Maybe you talk to them like, I'm going to invite you to collaborate here, but please don't shame me. Yes, like put yourself together. So the thing is, when you get through the door, please be selfish enough to push people, because you said the opportunities are so little. So when you get into the crack, please fix in as many people as you can so that they can also get the bag and grow as artists. Yeah, that's all I can say.
Previously on Shoot the Shot. Yeah, we're still back on Shoot the Shot. Yeah, Sebolo does poetry. I'm reaching out officially. Yeah, I'm a visual artist. I do painting mostly, abstract, mostly majoring in surrealism. I would love to curate a piece with you. And then, so again, the studio exists, but I want to really get in contact with the product developer or anyone who has ever shot paintings, I don't know. But if not, Yeah, it's also an open door. Whites do it so much, most especially in New York. There are photographers who specialize in taking pictures of art pieces, extreme from just product, but just it's more, I don't know how, they bring the painting to life even through photography. So it's something you guys can look at and try out. So I'm reaching out to Lule and any photographer who would love to try photography of paintings. Yeah.
Hi everyone again. So I think I want to answer your question about the characteristics of a bad collaboration. From my experience, I worked with a photographer who, he's good, but when it came to my project, he was selfish. He posted our work before the timeline. The editing wasn't my choice. It was really bad, guys, and it cost us money, plus the people who are working with us. So for me, I feel like when you're doing a collaboration, you have to think about the impact of what you're going to do, because what I was doing was I was sending a message about body positivity. We are thick girls who are looking nice in lingerie, but to a Ugandan who looks at a picture without context, it's going to look like, oh, these girls are, selling their bodies, or it just gave off a vulgar impression compared to what the context was. So with the photographers, I felt like a lot of them that would approach me were pushing for nude photography because they are more excited about they're excited about seeing someone's body, and they're not like thinking about the impact of what you're doing. So I had to pull back as a model and stop that point of my career, because I felt like most of them didn't understand why I was doing what I was doing. Coming from someone who has like body esteem issues, it was important for me to show other women that, you know what, you're beautiful the way you are. You don't have to make any changes to your body. And there was a lot of Photoshop going on that I didn't like. Like changing my body was just a problem. For a girl who is thick and then you make my waist too small, or you widen my hips, or you make my skin tone too light, it wasn't right. So when you think about collaborations, you have to work with people who actually understand the message of what you're pushing and the impact. Because for me, the girls I worked with, they were proud of themselves and they wanted to show that. But the photographer did this for a selfish reason, because he saw, oh, I have like 4 thick girls in lingerie. He had content for days. And when the timeline for posting came, I woke up one day and a project that took me like a month to pull together, get resources, just blew up in my face. It was posted everywhere. No one had the context for what we were doing and why we were doing it. And Bambi, my models, went through so much stress on their personal end of their lives, because people were looking at these pictures like, are these girls, selling themselves or something? And with Ugandans, it's like, it was really bad. So when I stopped collaborating, I had to take note of the photographers I'm working with, and also with the videographers. It was the same thing, like the work they were shooting. I wish like someone can just say, hey, I'm new to this, so please guide me. But they came on board, they did the work, they were paid for it, and the videos were terrible, the editing was terrible. And you can't do anything about it because you've already spent the money, so that's just about it. So in terms of collaborations, I'm actually open, and I've been disturbing Noah about shooting my saucy things. And he's still he's still not yet convinced, but eventually we shall get there. On the other side, I would say I would like to shoot more work with other photographers, but please don't come and ask for a nude photo shoot, because I'm not going to do that. And if you're looking for someone with creative direction or creative ideas, I have a basket of ideas. If you want someone who will help you with your shoots, I'm interested in that. So guys, you can say hi and I'll say hi back.
Can I say something about about collaboration? I think sometimes we start with the wrong approach because, for instance, you could release a nice piece of work and then someone is spamming your inbox about a collaboration and you don't know them, you've not met, they've not asked that you meet. So I think guys need to understand how to start the question, because if you're the one reaching out, I assume it means you want it more than the other person. Because if I didn't come to you, then sala pressure. You get it? And then also, when do you ask for it? You understand? You don't send someone a message at 10 p.m. to ask for, because these things happen actually. It's not that I'm making this up. I've collaborated with Nino before, and I think it was one of the best experiences. Why? Because he gave me an option. He gave me so many options. It was a lockdown project, a COVID. Nino took photos during the lockdown, and then he reached out and he asked for us to collaborate, and he shared photos with me. So what I had to do was to choose out of those photos which ones I could write poems for. I think I wrote 4 or 5 poems. Yeah, and the best one was about a kagari. Because when I saw that photo and the scenario that was happening that time, when the bicycle was like such a precious thing to own, cars couldn't move on the road, but if you had a bike, you could move on the road. So my advice to guys who want to collaborate, you don't come with, for instance, you don't come with one piece of work and you present it, because then I don't have something else to look at. What if I don't like what you've brought to me? It's possible. It's possible. It's possible. I need a selection, a variety, so that there is room for actual collaboration. Because if it's one piece of work, then what then? If it doesn't please me, then I'll say no, and you'll assume you're not a good artist, but in the actual sense, you didn't bring enough work. So I think before you ask someone for a collaboration, you should have these things pointed out. Which works will I present? And what do I expect from that person as their input into this work? Because I believe collaboration is expanding work that either already exists or is about to exist. So think about it. Those who have shot your shots. And those who want to shoot. And then there's also the issue of time. For instance, if you are collaborating with someone and you've agreed that you'll have, let's say, the first draft in a week, you need to find time to work on that work, because well, you could be busy, but then you've agreed to this collaboration. So, and then there's a common thing of artists not being good at keeping time. It's such a disease. It affects many of us. Not me, though. I am good. So you need to really be able to keep time and to communicate. Most importantly, I won't be able to do this, and so and so. I won't be able to make it because of so and so. You don't just not pick your calls.
Exactly.
And then 5 hours later, you send a WhatsApp message. Like, come on. Come on. Because it's not just about the work. It's about the discipline. And it's also about how you present yourself. There are people I can't collaborate with, not because they are not good, but because their image cannot be mixed with mine. Because I have a brand to protect. So if you're a certain kind of artist, and I've seen how you present yourself, I'll find ways to say no. It's the truth, because if you collaborate with someone and let's say they're out there drinking and posting videos online, and then you have work together, there's a certain way that image is going to ruin your brand. So you need to be careful who you collaborate with. Yeah. So that's it from me.
I want to add on something small for what he said. How collaboration can actually help you meet people. Meet people. And not just that, but the fact that let's not think about collaboration as something very big you have to plan and do. Like, it can be out of work you've already done, for example. The first time I met Sevolule was like 5 years ago. I had the set of images that I shot. Sometimes I like taking images that anybody can interpret in a different way, right? I put them out on the internet. I think it was Twitter and Instagram. And I asked writers, right? I asked writers, like, I have these sets of images, can you write? And people were writing in all. Some are writing, poems, some are writing stories. And it was such a nice thing to see one single image being done differently by several people, right? This one has a short story, this one has a love letter, this one has a poem. Sebolule actually did a poem, went to the studio and actually produced it. And it's on SoundCloud even right now. And that's how I met him. We did Lockdown, we did another project together. He's here because we met like that. And there's a time when you're trying to release an album, I actually reached out and I said, let's take some images. You came in, we shot, we collaborated, and you used the images. And it was something, it can be, you don't have to overthink it, right? You can have an image and there's a graphics designer or someone who draws and say, what can you do with this? Like, can you, I don't know, some sort of, like, what can you do with it? Yeah, so look at collaboration as not something very big. Yes, it can be very big, but it can help you, your art or whatever you create can be interpreted differently by someone from a whole different discipline. Yeah, and that's something beautiful to me. Yeah, Chiza, I met Chiza in that way also. Of course, I knew her through Vicky, but we started to talk more about, because I also put out those set of images and she wrote, I published them, and we became friends from then. And here is Studio Talk, and you guys are sponsoring. Right?
Nice.
Thank you so much. Once again, I'm Iga Joshua. So I came in a little bit later and I go back to the beginning. The question of, yeah, but should please give me time. I held this thing for 15 minutes. But I'm going to be so brief, hopefully. Yeah, so starting with our creatives collaborating enough, I would say no. Why? I have an experience of 7 years with creatives, collaborating with them, and it is one of the worst things, dealing with people who feel they are good at what they are doing, and we know ourselves, right? So to start with, people think collaboration is more about what are we doing, but it starts with the willingness to interact with people. We have over 10,000 creatives. In this room, we have only 20 people. That means creatives are not even willing to interact. How are you going to collaborate with someone, yet you don't show up in spaces where they interact from? That's the first stage. You realize that the best projects come from long talking with people. You wonder, why is this person calling me to talk with him? Someone calls you again, you talk. Someone calls you again, because it's building that connection. So we've lacked that as creatives. You have so much time for your studio. You're not willing to go and talk with other people. I may talk with Brule today for like 40 minutes, and next time we talk for an hour. Then the next day he tells me, come to my studio, we'll do something. You get. So the willingness to interact with people is how collaborations start. And because we've lacked that, we don't go for studio talks, we don't go for artist creative hubs, interactions. All those things have kept us really behind. Why am I saying so? Currently, we have an exhibition going on. It's for a photographer. I think he did some works in the early 70s. Back then, he's an old photographer. Yeah, that guy. Yeah, I would pose the question if most of the photographers here have been there. I doubt if like all of us. And it's not to be someone's blame. We are not blaming anyone. We all learn, right? I interacted with a 90-year-old artist who is one of Uganda's greatest artists ever. He's in Busia. He's now 91. The government doesn't know about him. It's only the white people that know that there's a great man in Uganda. You get? So us not building those bridges with those people, we can never collaborate at all. You will walk in, because we feel like collaboration has to happen between people around us. There are people outside there who are willing to collaborate with you, and like easily, you get. So let us break the boundaries that we have on our studios. We go out there, we search for people. Even if it's a 5-minute interaction where artists pass by, say hi, hello guys, what, move away. You might land on a collector, you might land on someone who's willing to get you somewhere nice. So me, I feel that's where collaboration starts from, and Ugandans are so weak at that. Very poor. Otherwise, this place will be filled up. And we're even outside there. We even get a bigger space. People go for comedy store and you find tens of thousands. They're just there abusing each other. And sense is being passed on here. No one is here. You get. So that's where we start from. And to be sincere, people meet in bars to drink and they walk away with billion-dollar deals. $1 million deals. So it's the same thing that can happen here. A collaboration is more like $1 million deal with a creative, a fellow creative. Another thing is, I put them down here. I'm trying to be very good. Just, really. Another thing is, most creatives go in collaborations not for passion. Some people don't go for passion. After my show, I got people who reached out for collaboration just to tap in the market and got it. You understand? That has kept very many people away from those who want to collaborate with them. Because I was like, okay, before my show, where were these people? That's the first question that someone gets in their mind. That means you've come in at a wrong time. And to be sincere, the people that I've collaborated with are people that were there even before my show. But all these people that are coming up, they want to see how do I tap into this guy's market. It's not bad, but going back to his, what do you have on the table? Are you really ready to collaborate with me? You have one painting, you want me to put something on it. Where are we going? You get, are you putting me down? Am I helping you? You know? So that's also bad. If you go into a collaboration with a mindset of money, it should be about passion. What do I learn from this person at the end of the day? Not what am I getting in my pocket. About a week ago, I had a collaboration with photographers. I'm not a photographer. I'm a painter, set designer. So I put up my set, called the photographer. I was like, we have a deal, let's go for photography. I don't know editing, I don't know nothing about that camera. I just want to learn. So I gave him his responsibility to take. I'll be coordinating my set, I change this, change that. I was so happy that it turned out to be one of the best things that I've started with this year. And we started it not about the money, but we wanted to change how people appreciate graduations and stuff. It started with a cause, not the money. So let collaboration start with a cause. Let there be a serious cause behind, not just tapping in someone's money. Now when I collaborate with that guy, he's offering this amount of money. That's bad. And that's what we take. I want to collaborate with that guy. You're going to be disappointed. You're not going to learn anything. You're going to come back home and say, I won't collaborate with anyone. So that's what I want to share.
Okay. Yeah. So we're winding up. I'm only going to let 2 more people shoot their shots, if any. We have 1 person here so far. You forgot your shot.
One thing I forgot.
You want it bad enough.
He talked about it. We as artists, painters, we put out our works and we die and no one knows about us. There's nothing documented about us because we don't have cameras. We have good paint. So let us see how we can collaborate. You can have a full week of documenting an artist. You get how their life is, like all those things. And maybe in a year you have like 10 because we are willing to pay for that thing. So we are documented. Maybe 2 hours or 3 hours in my studio documenting me, how I'm picking my paint, how I'm mixing. I also love to see myself after 5 years. Yes, like, because currently we are seeing Basquiat. The guy died very many years ago, Pablo Picasso, but I'm not documented. I don't even have a picture when I'm 4 years. But people like Notorious B.I.G. have their pictures. So if you can get that chance now, because I'm still in my 20s, I want to be at 70 and I'm still able to see a 20-something-year-old artist vis-a-vis the 90 or the 70-year-old. So it's your responsibility, not mine. I don't have the camera, come to me, we are doing something. And we start. Yeah, not me alone, very many artists. And trust me, they are willing to let you in because they want to be documented. What about to take out Simu Wafe?
So me, I'm going to shoot my shot, very open-ended. because I don't have much experience, I just have passion to go around. I'm very passionate about color. So be it clothes or spaces, if you like shooting color or things around that, or you are a photographer or makeup artist that's looking to just do fun, you know, like you have a project around color, you want to paint flowers on people's faces, Valentine's has passed, but you are trying to achieve a certain look. Yeah, me, I'm here, come and draw thingies on my face. I am happy to pose as your portrait models. Yeah, and just if you're open to shooting color and clothes and spaces, yeah, I'm your guy.
I'm shooting my shot to the entire house. You know what to do with a model. I'm here. At your service.
Okay. Thank you, guys. So it's about 8 minutes to 10. We have tried to manage that to 9. Sorry, we've tried to manage our time. It has been an absolute pleasure having you guys, and I hope that we all take something away from this conversation. For me, if anything, I think take away that collaborations at whatever level require a trust, and first of all, try to build a relationship, like he said. Don't just, it's okay to be selfish or have your motive, just keep in mind that the other person has to get something out of it and not just you. Otherwise, it won't work. One of you will leave disgruntled, if not both. So if you're not clear from the start, but to hint on Vanessa's experience, Nino said something useful about agreements, maybe contracts. We think those things are either a big deal or they mean that we don't trust the other person. But if you're going to have a collaboration like that, where there's something to lose, there's so many ways it could go south, have, you know, like the way he said, they signed NDAs. They don't have to be, it doesn't have to be big. You guys have friends who went to campus with you. You know a lawyer friend. Just draw like however chill it is, a binding contract. Cover your ground. Cover yourself. No, it doesn't have to be hard. Cover your tracks. Okay, so it's important for us to have these conversations. The same way as a creative and you have a client brief. Even you as creatives, even if it's not so big, make sure you have a shared vision, communicate it right, so that things don't get lost in translation. And if you see someone diverting there in those conversations, you know, like Nino said, you may be able to spot it from a mile away. But the same way we confuse red flags in like our relationships for pink. Yeah, I think that also happens in business, because sometimes you're dying to work with this person. Yeah. Okay, so I think his submission is the last. Thank you so much for being here, guys. And I pray you come back. I hope you come back, and I hope the conversation has been beneficial.
Hi, everyone. Everyone just tell your neighbor the devil is a liar. The devil is a liar, of course. Yeah, my name again is Raymond PK. PK stands for Peter Katumba. That's where it comes from. Listening to her personally and listening to my brother there, and then also the rest of us in the house, as you guys were sharing. Personally, I have my fears, but though I'm a very confident, brave, strong guy, but there are points that I don't want to get to, you know, at the level of the photographers, what they did to my sister there. You know, I'm personally a photographer, and I've had many frustrations also as I'm doing, let it be business, collaborations, whatever it is, with clients or anyone, you get. Sometimes even me myself, I want to try my best. I want to give it a shot, you know. I want to, when let's say, for example, anyone here contacted me about their piece of work they want to produce out there, and I am doing photography, but also I'm learning, you get. I want to try. I want to test which level am I at, you get. But then sometimes it just gets off, you know, it just goes off track. Like as you're doing something, then you end up frustrating the client and you yourself, and at the end of the day, you're not coming to the good end of it. You get. Personally, it is a learning experience. I face it that way. I love it more when it's hard. I love it more when I make him go mad than, you know, whoever, than playing it, than playing it cool, and at the end of the day, things misfire because you know, when you asked everyone in the house to shoot their shot, you know, I don't know if there is anyone here. I was like, even who do I shoot my shot to? You know, because I'm still learning. I'm on that journey where I want to do something good, but I'm not there. But I'm being inspired by many. That's why in the start again, I'll have to mention that me being here, it was like a dream come true. I expected that someday I will pay for me to be here, maybe for a photo shoot, you know. But then I see a poster this morning and I'm like, I tell her, you know what? We have to go here. You get. But why am I here? Because I want to learn. I want to listen to other creatives. What do they think about this whole thing of, you know? Because I know I'm not the only one struggling. And someone there said there are more than 10,000 of them, creatives out there. But maybe some of them, they have low self-esteem. That they fear even to be. Not everyone here has just given their mind on whatever, their opinion on whatever has been shared. But maybe we need also to boost our energies, you know, our confidences, you know. Because personally, I don't see anyone I'm collaborating with, but deep down I have a desire. I have a passion that someday I'll also be like this person, whoever. Like anyone doing editing, video editing here. I have a desire, I have a passion to be like you, long as you're good, man. I have a desire, or whatever you have that I can learn from you, you get. Whatever you have that I can learn, that is what I want to do, you know. But then, listening also to my brother, I was like, with all, you know, I love those principles. And I'm a principled person as well, that people fear to work with me. And personally, I love it more that way. When you fear to work with me, you will give me the due respect that I deserve when it comes to putting work together. You know, you will not just play around because I have given you my time, or even when someone gives me their time, I will not just play with it because I know what it takes for them to do whatever they do. But I don't know how these sessions have been in the past, but I would like to ask, where do we put these kind of questions that maybe we can't, right there, and we get the answers. People there have given positive feedback. The answers are given. All right. Okay, but I'm super delighted again to meet you guys. Thank you so much, and let's keep encouraging each other. And please spread the message about the Agandi Studios and whoever that is behind this program. And guys, salute, salute, salute. Thank you.
This one needs a mic so that we have it on record. Nino, get your mic to answer on behalf of Agandi team.
Yeah. So does Agandi Studios do collaborations?
Why? Why? They are a business. Oh, Nino says they do. Okay.
Yes, if you want to collaborate with any of the guys here or with Agandi itself, please reach out. I remember there was also a time, I think last year, I know what you want. I remember there's a time last year where we actually put out a call. I don't know if everybody saw it. We're actually giving free shooting space for photographers. Like if you have a passion project, it's not money based, you know, there's no money in it. Whoever you're shooting is not money in it. Like if you want an hour, you come with your camera, okay? But we give you the lights, we give you everything, props that are here used. We put that out. So if you want to collaborate with us, first we are
the guys.
Yeah, we are the guys. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So feel free to interact and have a lovely night and a good week ahead.